There's something quietly powerful about people who grew up in the 1970s. Psychology doesn't just notice it, it can actually explain it. If you grew up during that era, your brain developed in a very rare window of human history, a time with almost total freedom but real responsibility. And that combination does something to a person. It creates adults who look at the modern world and feel disconnected, not angry, not superior, just aware, because you experienced something that can never be recreated. A childhood that couldn't be scheduled. If you were a 70s kid, you remember one universal rule: go outside and figure it out. No planned activities, no constant supervision, no entertainment handed to you. And if you complained about being bored, you were instantly given chores. So your brain learned a lesson very early: create meaning or accept responsibility. Psychology calls this self-directed problem solving. Studies on unstructured childhoods show that kids who had to invent their own days developed stronger executive function, creativity, and internal motivation. You weren't overstimulated. You learned how to generate purpose from nothing. That's a skill most adults today never develop. Why chaos doesn't shake you. There's another trait people notice about you. You stay calm when everything goes wrong. That comes from what psychologists call adaptive risk calibration. You climbed trees too high, rode bikes without helmets, played with fireworks that definitely weren't safe, and every scrape, scar, and close call trained your nervous system. Research shows that children who experienced real physical risk in play develop lower baseline anxiety as adults. Your brain learned the difference between real danger and manageable risk, not from warnings, from experience. That's why when something breaks today, you don't panic, you assess, you act. Comfort being alone. Here's the part younger generations struggle to understand. You're comfortable being alone. Not lonely, not disconnected, just alone. You spent hours listening to music, lying on the grass, thinking, exploring without constant noise. Psychology research on pre-digital childhoods show people who grew up without constant stimulation have lower anxiety when alone with their thoughts. You learned something critical. Boredom isn't an emergency. Your brain never developed addiction to non-stop input. That's why silence doesn't scare you, and waiting doesn't frustrate you. The lost skill of patience. Growing up in the 70s trained you in patience without you realizing it. You waited for your favorite show once a week. You waited days for photos to develop. You memorized phone numbers and hoped someone would be home. Psychology calls this analog patience. Research on delayed gratification shows people who learned to wait early have better impulse control, stronger relationships, and more long-term satisfaction. Instant gratification never impressed you because you weren't raised on it. Unsupervised autonomy. Here's the trait that ties everything together. You were trusted. At 8 or 9 years old, you left the house with one rule: be back before the streetlights come on. No tracking, no constant check-ins. You navigated the world on your own. Psychology shows that children given freedom of movement develop stronger internal decision-making systems. You had to judge situations, handle consequences, adapt without guidance. Your parents weren't your friends, they were the authority, and that trust wired competence into your brain. So when modern life feels overwhelming, when people panic over small problems, when silence feels unbearable to others, remember this: you're not outdated. You're carrying skills that are slowly disappearing. Your independence isn't coldness, it's capability. Your comfort with solitude isn't antisocial, it's depth. Your patience isn't apathy, it's discipline. You survived a childhood that would get parents arrested today, and it didn't damage you, it built you. For a brief moment in human history, childhood was free and formative at the same time. You got to experience a world that no longer exists, civilized and feral, dangerous and empowering. If you grew up in the 70s, you didn't just grow older, you grew different. Drop a comment if you're a 70s kid and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you enjoy psychology that explains why you feel the way you do, subscribe. We're just getting started.